deals, and sometimes the deals don't close. Okay, so you had a board meeting, but you had something to talk about. And the Onassis people were, let's not meet and argue about cutting up the cake until we got a cake to cut up. They said it a little differently, but actually they said it in Greek, and that's my closest translation to English from Greek. And again, for those of you that you can Google that article about me in the Greek paper, Plato, Aristotle, Peña. You know, maybe in reverse order. But again, if I hadn't been the mentee, the known, memorialized mentee of one of the great businessmen, Greek icons, titans, Constantine Gratsos, they wouldn't be writing about me. They wouldn't be writing about me. And you know, there's people out there that you can latch onto in a positive way. And the value you'll add to those kind of people is minimal, other than energy and you reminding them of themselves, you know, decades before. And so you might not think you're adding any value, but you are. You're keeping the, you know, the blood pumping to the old farts veins. But you know, we've had a couple guys hear me talk about them old farts veins, and you know, once in a while I get an email from somebody. You know, why would you refer to, you know, some of the people? And I said, well, I don't mean it in a derogatory way, but you know, we are old, and you know, a lot of young people think we're old farts, and so then they laugh. Now you say that, they won't take it kindly at all, but you know, I'm more or less one of them, so I can get away with saying that, and I don't mean it in a bad way at all, because those are the guys and the gals that make the system work vis-a-vis the dream team. Without those guys and gals, this dog has, you know, low-hanging fruit still works, motivated seller still works, but you just don't have the clout with the financial institutions. And in the beginning, the accountants and the lawyers are going to want to get paid, not on a delayed fee basis, but upfront basis. And you know, some of you have the 50 or 100 grand to pay them the first, you know, but we're assuming you don't have the 50 or 100 grand. And there's no reason for you to use your money, because we're going to roll it into the financing, and then you have no money in the deal. And again, when you pull out 100,000 or 100 million, your return on your investment is infinite because you got no money in the deal. And and I had $820, okay, which is essentially no money. But my stock basis in my stock was 0.0000082 cents per share. So when they used to, you had money in the deal. I mean, you got stock, you got basis in the stock. Well, I did $800 divided by whatever the number was. So, but that's close enough to zero. And I had a share. The reason why $820 instead of $1,000 is because I had a partner, 18% partner. He was former secretary of the treasurer under Eisenhower. Dream team anchor chairman. His name was Bob Anderson. He was out of Texas. And then his wife got ill, and he wanted to spend more time with her, and so I bought his stock back. Or actually, I think he donated the stock back to Treasury. And but he's the one that you got to explain about. His son wanted to be a preacher, and he was going to go to Hardin Simmons Bible College, which is about 80 miles from Dallas, so he could be close to his mom who was dying of cancer. And I'm there at their home in Dallas, and he said, well, what other opportunities do you have other than Hardin Simmons? And he says, Princeton, Harvard, which are started as Bible schools, for those of you who don't know. And in fact, most of the universities, including Oxford, started as a Bible school. And he says, well, I know your mom would like to see you close by, but, you know, you don't want to have to go to a school you got to explain about. You know, Hardin Simmons Bible School, number 9, blah, blah, blah. You're never going to have to explain about Harvard. So he went to Harvard Divinity. And you don't want people on your board you got to explain about. Whereas it doesn't matter if you went to school or didn't go to school. It doesn't matter if you got degrees or don't have degrees. It matters for them. You know, the more initials, letters, and in this country, sirs, lords, that kind of thing, the better off you are. Because even though in this century, 2018, soon to be 2019, that's not supposed to matter, it does matter. In Germany, they want to be a hair professor, doctor, so and so. Okay, and it is, you know, credentials talk, and that lends more credibility to you, because why would Sir Percy and Lord this and all these guys in this country, or the people with a lot of initials that went to great schools in America, why would they hook up with you if you weren't the right stuff? You know, and so the perception is reality again. You know, as I said, the Naval Academy, you know, one of the great schools, and that'll bode well for him. All the academies, but those schools you don't have to explain about.
Is that chairman? He should be somewhat in the industry, kind of.
No, well, not kind of. He should be, but he could be the former retiring chairman of Cardinal Health and still do an assisted living roll-up. Because the perception or the presumption on his part is this is how we're getting started in healthcare. Okay? We're getting started with assisted living, then we're going to do this, that, and then we'll be doing hospitals. Man from Hunger Games, he quantum leaped to hospitals. Not dissimilar to Senator-elect Rick Scott did back in the day. But it's harder to buy hospitals straight away. It just is, because the cash flow seldom covers the debt service. But the hospitals are great to turn around because they're normally mismanaged. And there's a lot of fluff in, you know, like I told you yesterday, 3 nurses and 2 administrators standing behind a desk when you check in. You know, why are they all there? A lot of hospitals are operating at only 40, 50% capacity, not 90 or 95% capacity. So, but though you want those people that, and you need to convince them that even though they managed hospitals, you know, this is just the first step. And first exit, all the board members, board member pulls out 5 or 10 or 15 million bucks. The first time you exit, that may be enough for them, because you got them when they were 60, now they're 67, 68, 65, that's enough. They had some fun, and now they took their money and they fade off into the sunset. So very seldom, by the time you do a third roll-up, do you have any but maybe 1 or 2, and they're normally the youngest of the board members that stay with you. And they'll wish you well, but you use them, their reputation, even if they're gone, because this is, we're replacing so-and-so and the former deputy undersecretary of this, that, and the other thing, former head of the University of Southern California Medical School, they're stepping into some big shoes to fill. And the medical schools are a great place. Professors have time to do this. College professors at medical schools have time to do this because, by definition, I'm not saying they don't work too hard, but they don't work too hard. They also don't get paid too much. A full tenured professor at Harvard gets paid about $240,000 a year, and of course, then they write books and they get money for speeches and stuff like that. So they want to sit on some boards. Normally, they're sitting for honorariums. But when you see free founders equity, it's magic. And you heard Hunger, he sent out a bunch of emails, a bunch of requests on LinkedIn, and 2 minutes later, the chairman that he currently has, world-class guy, contacted him and set up a phone call, and then the phone call went well. Then he gave him his personal email address, and they started corresponding by email, and that's how it works. That's how it works. Any questions about goals or affirmations? Yes, sir.
A little bit long.
Okay.
We're conducting our board
This is our boy from Bumfuck, Mississippi. Bumfuck, Mississippi.
When we're conducting our board meetings, do we take the head of the table or do we allow?
No. First board meeting, you're the head of the table. First board meeting, remember, we're not going to follow Robert's Rules, which is the big, thick guidebook for board meetings, and you're going to be at the head of the table. And then, but you're going to have a chairperson for the meeting. So when you've discussed with the board members, you may ask, especially if you should be sure of yourself. But if the chairman, Mr. Chairman, would you mind chairing our first board meeting? And then, so then after you open the meeting, and you everybody's looked at the agenda, then you turn over the gavel, so to speak, not a real gavel, the metaphoric gavel to the chairman, and he runs the meeting because he'll know how to run the meeting. And it's it's easy peasy. The first meeting should be no more than a couple hours. I like to do it late in the afternoon, so then you have drinks and dinner. There's a board meeting. I was looking at one of the weekly reports, and there's drinks but no dinner, because where he is in New York City, dinner is going to be $2-3 grand, and although he didn't say he didn't have the $2 or $3 grand, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have the $2 or $3 grand to have the dinner. And he picked the Four Seasons. Why does he pick the Four Seasons Hotel? Better to have the board meeting at LaGuardia Airport, because there's only a Hilton and a Sheraton there, if I remember correctly. They'll understand because they'll be able to fly in. They'll understand that. But instead, he's got it at the fucking Four Seasons. It's just expensive. And then some of the board members are going to want to stay at the Four Seasons. And he's not paying for their room. Better Hilton at LaGuardia, or wherever the city is. I had a board meeting in Philadelphia a year or so ago, and it was at the airport at whatever the hotel at the Philadelphia airport was, which was a shithole. But it was convenient. It was inexpensive. Dinner was maybe $400, $300 for the guy. But the guys drank a lot. The board members, they got nothing to do. Their plane's not till the next day. So what do? They sit in the bar, and they drank. So it wound up, and the guy, the left an open tab. He paid for dinner, and he comes back, and the bar bill's twice as much as the goddamn dinner was. And so it's a little late to go past the hat and try to track down his board members. I thought it was funny, but then I read these in their weekly reports. What am I not telling Dan? I didn't have the money to pay the thing, and I had to have my wife go to I guess you can add money on your credit card or some shit. I don't know. I don't know how you do any of that, but his wife had to go to the bank and
Cash.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I guess you can do things like that. But Sally, I told you, she gives me 20 pounds. She doesn't pin it to my jacket. 20 pounds, and she says, "Don't spend it all in one place." And now Sally's mom, she thought that, well, why would Dan let you do that? Because I don't need to be in control of the money when we travel or any of that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. I want less things. Focus on the few, not the many, and I don't do anything I can't change. Okay, I don't deal with things I can't change. So my focus is much more, other than I'm watching all your companies, my focus in my life is significantly less. The things that I focus on are significantly less than virtually anybody that's ever come through the seminar or watches me on YouTube, because I know that's all minutia. And from minutia, all you get is manure. But somebody's got to cross the T's and dot the I's. Somebody. It's just not you. And in the past, you've been the one cross the T's and dot the I's. And look where it's gotten you, for the most part. We got a few shekels in the room. Few is the operative word. And how many shekels in a dollar?
3.5.
Oh, 3.5. Oh, it's rands, 17. Okay. A few of you got a few rands. I'm switching to rands from shekels because that's 17, 18 to 1?
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other currency in here that's even worse than that, the rand? No, okay. Okay. Okay, YouTube. Thank you.